Perfect. Welcome everybody to our QiDao Fireside chat here. We have a very special guest, John. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to having just a nice chat.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely an app that a lot of people use. We certainly use you guys, so you're no stranger. But before we start talking about Gnosis, I think it'd be pretty interesting to hear about you, how you got into crypto.
Yeah, definitely. So I discovered crypto back in 2015. I was in college at the time doing my thesis, and my thesis was around how can we use blockchains for energy transactions, so like microgrids. And I didn't really know much about blockchain at that time, but that's where the rabbit hole began for me, right? And slowly but surely, I was learning more about it, and I was getting more and more obsessed. And I kind of took that obsession through, when I graduated, I worked for a big bank, Citibank. I worked for Accenture as well, and I was always kind of, wanting to get into as much crypto-related activities as possible. I was even a product manager for like an enterprise crypto solution at the time with Accenture. But I think ultimately, the enterprise crypto space was kind of going in a different way, and I very much wanted to be kind of working on Ethereum infrastructure. I always did, and I think that's what made me leave, and what kind of brought me to Gnosis when I joined like a year and a half ago. And I've been pretty happy just to kind of move away from that and kind of go into pure kind of infrastructure on Ethereum, right? So that's what I've been working on, and my role is ecosystem lead. So just kind of trying to push the Gnosis Safe's adoption, and kind of work with our internal team and both our the ecosystem as well, trying to like improve the product, and just make sure people know about it and are using it.
There we go. Definitely, there's a lot of people that know about you guys, and that's interesting. I actually also worked at Citibank. I quit a little bit ago, a couple of months ago. So I guess we both made that kind of move. Yeah, and it must be crazy because I remember talking to a lot of people that do crypto within Citi, and I guess like building crypto projects within a large institution like Accenture, Imagine as well, is completely different from working at like a place like Gnosis. Can you tell us a little bit about that like transition?
Yeah, definitely. I think that one of the biggest things for me was not everyone knows what you're talking about when you're in a company of say 400,000 people, right? And you're talking about decentralized governance and cryptography, right? There was definitely a lot of time was spent kind of taking people along the journey with you, kind of talking about what this means, what that means. And then since I switched, I was very much in a team of people who knew what I was talking about, right? And kind of had that same view on where Web3 is going, where Ethereum is going, where our multi-chain future is going, right? I think that made it a lot easier to get stuff done.
Right.
Because,
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And why Gnosis? Like, there's a lot of crypto projects out there that you could have joined. What drew you there?
Yeah, I think I really did like I liked that Gnosis. I like Gnosis's. They very much have a kind of open finance, decentralized finance view, and of course, there's a lot of other protocols and companies doing that right now. But I was just attracted by kind of the founders, Martin and Stefan. I thought they're super technical, but they also know how to lead a large group of people. That motivated me, and also I saw that the Safe was a cool project, and it was kind of it was developing some momentum, and I wanted to kind of try and push that momentum even further. So I kind of saw an alignment there with the product.
That's great. Yeah, I think Safe is a very special project. It really helps build a lot of trust. And I think that's a great segue into talking about, Gnosis Safes. Could you maybe explain for our audience what it is? Maybe you can give like a DeFi guru, like expert, explanation, but as well, like for people that might know very limited amount about crypto, could you also talk about it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Gnosis as a company, they Gnosis just make products for they want to make products for DeFi infrastructure essentially, and the Safe is one of those products. And so the DeFi guru definition is the Safe. The Gnosis Safe is a smart contract wallet that employs multi-sig and also batch transactions together as well. And what that means is that you can get a very secure setup to manage your funds if you're an individual, if you're a team, or if you're a DAO, right? The fact that the Safe employs multi-signature means you can set you can define a number of owners of that Safe and that wallet, and then you can also define how many people need to sign every transaction. And what that means is it's a secure way of managing funds as using a multitude of wallets, right? So like using the best wallets and using this smart contract to govern and manage those wallet users.
Right.
Well, why is it so important to, I guess, have multi-sigs within, say, a DAO or for a treasury or something along those lines?
Yeah, I think like a big criticism, some people in DeFi are it's a big criticism of DeFi is that you have these protocols that manage such a high amount of funds, right? Such a large amount of funds. And these are, they have a single point of failure, which is one dev that has, a private key and one wallet that manages and governs all these funds, right? That's a big risk in DeFi, and people like that scares a lot of people, and it scares me included. But if you employ multi-sig, it means you can actually define a number of private keys or a number of wallets that have access to the funds, but the funds can only be transacted or moved if this quorum of wallets agrees and signs, approves the transaction to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing is just kind of diversifying the risk. So one guy just can't run away. One dev can't just rogue the funds and run away with them, right? You're kind of distributing that across a number of people.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely makes sense. And how would so that's one use case or that's a use case for an organization or a DAO. What about just for an individual? How would they use Gnosis Safes?
Yeah, definitely. So, and this is actually even this is a good it's a good reason why we deployed on Polygon, right? But I'll talk about that later. But right now, creating a safe is all you're paying is gas, and it's now on the likes of Polygon, it's very affordable for individuals. Because previously it would be cost about $100 to create a safe, but now it costs about 50 cents, right, on Polygon. So for individuals, why it's useful is because you're not kind of pooling all your funds on one wallet, right? You're not again, it's that single source of failure point. If I have all my funds stored on a MetaMask or on a hardware wallet like a ledger, it's one point of failure, right? If my MetaMask gets compromised or if my ledger gets hacked or compromised, my funds are gone. But what individuals can do with a Gnosis Safe is they can say, okay, let me have 3 hardware wallets, a ledger, a Trezor, and then a third hardware wallet or a MetaMask, and I just sign. 2 of those have to sign every transaction, right? And what that means is, if I lose access to one hardware wallet, I can still manage my funds and manage what wallets are in control of the safe still, even if one gets compromised. And that's like a very secure setup. I think the likes of Vitalik Buterin actually uses that himself. So I think that kind of screams like that it's a tried and tested way to do it.
It's gotta be pretty tried and tested. And then if Vitalik uses it for his bags, then maybe we should do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I think even before Ethereum's time, BitGo created the first Bitcoin multisig, and the founder of BitGo, essentially said, I don't use EOAs or externally owned accounts like single private keys, because he was always terrified that his baby, that his that was running around, would just fling his laptop out the window or spill milk on his hardware device, right? I said that terrified him, and that's what really motivated him to adopt multisigs and push the whole multisig paradigm.
Wow, that's pretty good motivation there.
Absolutely. And so how does Gnosis Safe make money? How does it continue to grow?
Yeah, very good question. I get asked this question quite a lot. Right now we don't make any money with the Gnosis Safe. We want it to be a public good, similar to MetaMask, right? As in, like MetaMask, like 90% of MetaMask core functionality is free to use, right? They've recently monetized a bit. They have MetaMask swaps built into MetaMask, so they take transaction fees for people swapping tokens, right?
Yeah.
But that's a very small portion of MetaMask, right? And we want to employ the same strategy for the Safe, right? As in, we want this to be a public good. We want this to be core infrastructure for anybody building on Polygon, on Ethereum, right? And yeah, we might look to monetize sometime, but definitely we want our core capabilities always permissionless and always, available to people, right? Yeah.
Well, we thank you for your service, first of all.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice service to have for free, right?
Oh yeah.
About it. It's like a lot that goes into it. How would you compare your service to others, like for example, like Open Zeppelin Defender?
Yeah, like I see. I think we operate in kind of similar spheres, but still different use cases, right? Like you get a lot of smart contract automation with Open Zeppelin Defender, and with the Safe you get that pure access control. Like our smart contracts define the access control, right, of like the governing protocols that have that employ smart contracts, right? So there's a good marriage there, and Open Zeppelin even integrated with the Gnosis Safe. We have a little app store called Safe Apps. They're all free to use, but it just means you can access apps directly from the Safe. And Open Zeppelin is one of them, where you can simply assign governance rights or admin control of a smart contract using the Safe and Open Zeppelin.
Okay, yeah, actually, we know a lot about those apps because we've been working on allowing people to use our protocol through those apps on Gnosis Safe, and I think they can do it now already, right, Kila?
Mm-hmm.
So that's live at the moment.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So if like to segue into this, right? Let us know, because we'd love to see QiDao as like a default Safe app within the Polygon interface, like
nice.
Polygon interface, right? Yeah,
we would definitely not complain.
yeah, exactly. We'll let you know right now. Cool. What are some other cool like apps that we might be able to see on Gnosis pretty soon?
Yeah. So recently we added SushiSwap to the Polygon instance, right? So you can do all those good things with Sushi on Polygon via your Safe. So you have that security of the multisig, right? But you can kind of go ape into all these different farms, right? So it's a nice it's a nice use case. But yeah, going forward, we definitely want to see more NFT related Safe apps. So because we have a lot of collectives, like we have a lot, like there's a new use case happening where art collectives are joining together, pooling their funds and investing in digital art, NFTs, as such. And we definitely want to like smoothen out the user experience for that. And I think we definitely want some cool NFT apps such as OpenSea, for example, and Rarible coming on as a default Safe app.
Okay, cool. And then in terms of like this SafeSnap apps as well, right? You got some functionalities coming out. There's a cool one where you can automate kind of like your treasury actions through like snapshot voting. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, exactly. So just to take a step back, the Safe employs an aspect called Safe modules. And modules are essentially just contracts that let you bypass the multisig under certain conditions, right? And SafeSnap is an example of a Gnosis Safe module, right? It lets you bypass the multisig based off an off-chain decision, right? In most instances, it's a snapshot vote, right? So what SafeSnap does is allow you to execute on-chain transactions based off the outcome of a snapshot vote. And that's great for the DAO implementation, right? So we no longer have, just a smaller team, doing all the transactions, and you hope that your community trusts that that smaller team is doing all the transactions that you were voting on. With SafeSnap, you essentially all you have to do is just trust that the snapshot vote, did what, came out as yes or came out as no. And then the transaction gets executed automatically via the Safe.
That's great. Yeah, I think that really helps, especially young projects trying to decentralize, be able to do it without having to do everything themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're making a DAO really a DAO. Like,
yeah,
you're taking that centralized element out of out of a DAO. That's really cool. What other types of innovations do you see that need to be added into this space, in order for Gnosis Safes to be around, for years to come?
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely see, I think the next step for the Gnosis Safe anyway to continue is to really work on becoming an open platform. Right now we have our Gnosis hosted interfaces that interact with the Gnosis contracts, but the contracts are permissionless. The contracts are immutable; they stay on Ethereum. But we definitely want to kind of open out the interfaces that interact with the Gnosis Safe. And there's already interfaces that are actually tying straight into the Gnosis contracts, such as Parcel and Multisafe, and they're simply different interfaces that suit a kind of treasury management use case. And we want to see more interfaces being built to interact with our contracts, and that's up to us to make that as easy for developers as possible.
Okay, and if others are like other developers are building something that they want to interact with y'all, what is the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so the best thing is to reach out to our developer Discord. If you just Google Gnosis Safe, you can access our Discord directly from the website, and we have developers on all day, helping developers build a safe app or interact with our contracts in a way, or even just build a brand new interface. And we're it's working well right now, but definitely to be truly, an operating system, we need to work even harder on, having having SDKs in the stack that just make it easy for anyone to go and start building on top. And that's when we can truly scale, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's in terms of developers. Are you guys working with any enterprises and seeing how you can help bring that kind of wave of onboarding?
Yeah, we're very open to speaking with enterprises, and we've spoken with banks and even governments before about even using the Safe, which is crazy. It's crazy to me, but definitely there's some very forward-looking, crypto savvy, enterprises and governments out there actually.
You're working with governments as well.
Well, we're speaking with them. They haven't created their safes just yet, but definitely, I think we're open to educating them. I think that's happening. It's just our team is focused on building out the product, making this truly core infrastructure, and we can't we can't allocate all our effort to educating every single enterprise or every single, public institution that wants to get into crypto, right? So we're speaking with them, but there's definitely some organizations that are just much further ahead, much more willing to adopt it, and we're happy to to partner with them and work with them.
You don't have to. I know it can be touchy, but one of the watchers was wondering, any hints on which governments chatting to?
No, it's very much it's very much hush hush at the moment. It's very casual conversation. But what's great is that they're looking at this, right?
Exactly.
Nothing's formal, but they're just looking at it, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess actually handling the crypto is going to be a huge barrier for a lot of people outside of crypto, right? Like your keys and keeping everything safe, especially if you're at a government level, right? You can't really have like just a simple setup, maybe a ledger, right? Kind of money you're having there's a lot.
Correct. We're talking about enterprises and entities here, and there's never just one person in charge of everything in these very Web 2 focused organizations, right? So they need these platforms where the responsibilities are kind of distributed, and I think multisigs are great for that. I find the Safe multisig component is very similar to DocuSign on Web 2, right? Where you just have multiple people signing something, right? I see it's quite similar in that regard. So yeah, I see that being an interesting way for enterprises to get used to.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like, finally, if a community wants to get like a pothole fixed with government funds, it's like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and make a vote, and then those funds go automatically towards fixing that pothole. Yeah, that could be really cool. As we talk about the future, right? I mean, what really excites you about DeFi, or just this entire space?
Yeah, what really excites me about DeFi is just that it's censorship resistant right now, and now that's come under scrutiny as of lately, as you guys know, right? But I think that's what I love it. It's permissionless. Anybody can simply start interacting with financial instruments that they couldn't do before, and that's what excites me. And I think there's going to be more innovations coming in the next 2 years, next 3 years, and so on. I don't know what those innovations are going to be, but I know that the slowly but surely we'll have even more people onboarding to DeFi, right? Mm-hmm. And we've even seen that in conferences lately, that we're seeing people from various different backgrounds that we haven't seen before in crypto, right? So that's exciting. I think that will really change the industry, and I hope for the positive.
What do you think some hurdles are towards getting to that future?
Yeah, I see. I think the regulatory aspect is certainly something has not scaring people, but just definitely making people more anxious, let's say. I think if stamping on regulations where you don't quite understand all the nuances of the technology, the power of cryptography and what that means, the power of decentralized governance. I think that's not appreciated enough at the moment, and I'd love for us to get to a stage where regulators are appreciating that aspect and tying it in with their regulations. But yeah, that's hopefully there's more education to happen there.
Yeah, you see a lot of those blanket laws coming out and trying to grapple with it, but yeah, it's interesting to see how censorship resistant platform that we work on is going to be censored. I guess there's some kind of negotiation that needs to happen there, or some kind of a coming together long term.
What do you think what do you think the DeFi community can do to help educate in these spaces?
Yeah, like I see actual teams and projects set up specifically to educate, right? Like Uniswap Governance funded this DeFi education fund. I think aspects like that would be is great for kind of tying along, and even just speaking speaking with people closer to the regulatory aspects or the legislative aspects as well. I think there's some crypto teams that are very kind of insular in that regard, like they don't want to talk about to like the normie world, right? And I think we're eventually going to have to open up that dialogue eventually, right? Otherwise, it will be like just two different heads rubbing off each other, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, how's moving, I guess, on into specifically Polygon, because we are, I guess, a Polygon-based stablecoin. How's your experience been since you guys have launched and building the whole process?
Yeah, so we've launched with about like 90% of our functionality. And it was a smooth launch. Couple of things we can work on, of course, get that last 10% in there. In terms of functionality, but we're happy with how the launch went, and yeah, what we're really impressed with, but like kind of even surprised, right, is that like on layer 1 on Ethereum, like during spiking gas prices, like people were paying $150, even $200 to set up safe, whereas on Polygon, like I created a safe I mentioned there, like for 50 cents, right, for 50 cents. Crazy. And like that really opens up the use case for individuals to use the safe, right? Because previously they were priced out in a way, and I think that what's great about launching on Polygon is that we can really kind of open this out to new groups of personas.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of people even within our own user base that either are completely new to crypto, or maybe they were already on Ethereum way back when, and at some point they just couldn't keep up with the fees, and now they're kind of just coming back and reintegrating. So yeah, I think Polygon's an interesting space because of that. You get to do a lot of these new things and bring a lot of these communities back into it.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool because like you said before, maybe on Ethereum it was really just these larger treasuries or DAOs that were using Gnosis Safe. And again, I don't know if that was actually like those are the correct statistics, but now it is opening it up to pretty much anyone without having to incur really large fees. With that being the case, does that change the way that Gnosis Safe looks at their future development?
I think it's more getting like it's more changing. Like definitely has an aspect of development changes, but I think more so it's on the kind of marketing front, right? And getting, like, we were very much tied with big teams, large funds, use the safe, right? But I think now we have people can create a safe for really affordable costs. So we're now kind of thinking about how can we get the word out to individuals, right? And to even art collectors, for example, right? That they're not on crazy money, and they want to actually come together as a guild, let's say, and start investing, right? I think how do we get the Gnosis Safe out to people like that, where they haven't even heard of MetaMask yet, right? That's what we're thinking about now. It's not easy.
Okay, no, that makes sense. So less development side, but more just marketing to the different crowds.
Correct. And I think, but in terms of the development side, I think the UX can always be improved. Like we work hard on making the user experience, not super technical, but there's still some technical aspects in there, right? That we would like, to make a bit more accessible. And that's definitely something we need to work on further for, the individuals who are very new to crypto, right?
Yeah, and now that you having all these other like layer 2s come on that maybe have a similar cell as Polygon, how do you see all these kind of layer 2 systems working together? And what are your thoughts in general about these layer twos?
Yeah, well, like one, like I think, like I'm seeing like there's plenty of, I think these layer twos like keep each other honest in a way. Like there's the speed of execution, I think is kind of accredited to all these different layer twos, like trying to like getting deployed. And if it was just one, let's say, you know, I think competition or co-opetition really helps in that aspect, right? And we're seeing, like, you know, we're seeing these layer twos really go to market very quickly and get deployed based off just like, you know, the speed of the industry at the moment, which I think is great, right? I really like that aspect of it, and I see more interoperability happening going forward, and even actually, I think there was an EVM bridge created for Solana recently. I think that was announced maybe a month ago, right? And I see that even more of that happening, right? More bridges, even to non-EVM or EVM taking place. But yeah, that's so I see it as a good thing that there's plenty, you know, working hard and executing quickly.
Yeah. So then I guess your plan would be to have Gnosis on everywhere, right? So people can leverage your like your technology in whatever chain they might be on.
Yeah, like I think we definitely want, like, there's quite a lot of there was previously a lot of dependencies on the Gnosis Safe side to roll out to various different, you know, layer twos and side chains. We're trying to reduce those dependencies that we've done. For example, like we used to require a tracing node enabled for any deployment we did. So that's quite a technical aspect, but we've now removed that as well. So we want to make the contracts in a way that, you know, there's no dependencies on the Gnosis side for networks to start using the Safe, right? Truly be a public good.
Right, yeah, because if you can't really scale to all these new users are, right, it's kind of difficult to scale.
Yeah, correct. Completely right. And we're already dedicating quite a bit of time to Polygon right now, and we simply couldn't, you know, deploy to all these, you know, like dozens of layer twos, right, and allocate that same amount of effort. I think it doesn't scale there.
100%, and we definitely appreciate the time and effort you're putting on Polygon.
Yeah.
As loyal users of Gnosis Safe, we appreciate it.
Yeah. We were counting down the days until y'all came onto Polygon.
So
that's
right?
awesome. Yeah, no, I think the vision is aligned, right, with Polygon. I think that, like, Polygon very much ties in with the Gnosis Safe's vision. So that's I think that was one of the main reasons why we've deployed.
Cool. Yeah. So have you been able to look into, I guess, what we do, QiDao as a protocol? Do you have any thoughts about it? You can be honest. Don't worry. Yeah.
I wasn't super familiar previously, but I have actually been playing around with it. And like, look, for me, for protocols, like I've got like these, you know, these two main requirements, which is, like, you know, are they decentralized, or do they have a roadmap to decentralization, right? And I think you guys tick the box there. And are they non-custodial, right? And very much a non-custodial platform is QiDao. QiDao or QiDao? I always mispronounce it.
Yeah,
QiDao.
it's not like Chinese name, so
yeah.
QiDao.
Yeah, I just can't pronounce things these days. But
No
yeah.
way.
But yeah, like look, I think stablecoin infrastructure and stablecoins are just super important for any you know, network these days to offer that price stability. And I think you guys have to play a key role in that for Polygon as well. So yeah, like I like what you guys are doing. I want you guys to integrate as a Safe app. I think you've already done it. Let's get you there. And yeah, what I'm looking forward to is the various different, like, if there's new tokens that can be used as collateral going forward, right?
Yeah, every week we got a new one.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, I think you're just giving your users more and more options, right? And I think that's very important.
Exactly. Yeah, the idea is to be kind of like a center for all these tokens to have more like utility and kind of intertwine with like the different aspects of DeFi on Polygon.
Yeah. What do you think is a good strategy would be to use like Gnosis Safes within QiDao, just for our users that are watching?
Yeah, I think definitely like you can begin minting, like you can set, like, you know, you can pool together funds like as a collective or as a team, right? Or even as an individual, right? And begin, like, you know, slowly but surely swapping some USDC for my, and you know, minting my, and creating and using that my, you know, and not letting it sit idle, and start actually investing that money as well into various different pools, right? I think that's the main use case I see. You know, it's a simple one, but I think it's actually, you know, when the funds really are pooled together, you know, the yields just, you know, they just exponentially go up, right? So that's where the Gnosis Safe comes in, is to really kind of, you know, enable like people to, you know, come together with their funds to actually get some good yield.
That's really cool. That's really awesome. When it comes to the Polygon community as a whole, is there an ask that you have of them?
I think, yeah. I think if I'm wearing my Gnosis Safe hat, I ask for patience. Patience for getting all our safe apps or all our functionality, you know, into the safe, right? I ask for patience there. Like, we're working hard, and we'll have 100% of, you know, the Gnosis Safe stack in Polygon very, very soon, and we'll be adding more apps as we go through. But also, if I'm not wearing my my Polygon hat, I like this. It's JPEG summer right at the moment. There's an NFT boom going on, and I think it seems like Polygon should embrace, the community should embrace this, and I think it's already happening. I think there's a lot of work happening. There's a lot of investment happening with using NFTs on Polygon, right? And I think it's such a good use case, because, you know, the biggest hindrance for Ethereum was the minting costs and the gas costs associated with these NFTs, and I think Polygon has a real opportunity here to get new users in that wouldn't normally you know, have the funds to do it.
Yeah, 100%. You have a DGen NFT guy here. I'm not gonna say who, but definitely we like our NFTs here at QiDao.
Awesome. Yeah. I think you know, I think everyone's preaching that already, right? So I don't think my recommendation is is quite it's quite new.
Awesome. And yeah, just FYI, our vaults are NFTs. So.
Oh yeah, our vaults are also.
I didn't know that. Awesome.
Yeah, they're ERC 721s, so you could technically transfer them to people, right? Yeah, you can transfer them to people.
That's cool. That's cool. And are people doing that right now? Are people transferring their vaults?
I've heard of people transferring their vaults. Yeah. I don't know if it's like a widespread thing that everybody's like, you know, trading vaults, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah, we probably could be putting that at least option in the docs, and, letting more people know about it. Yeah, exactly. Like you said earlier, it's like, yeah, you've got these this marketing and getting people to know.
Yeah, because they can technically put them up for sale on OpenSea, right? If you don't want your vault anymore, maybe you can't pay it back. You can think about like a middle ground discount.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Yeah.
So those that are watching, if you want to put up your vault for sale,
Kila will buy it because it's an NFT.
I like NFTs. I'm not ashamed to say it.
It's not a bad word here. It's good.
No. We're in a safe space here, man. We got Gnosis.
Exactly.
All right.
No, perfect. Is there anybody else in the community that you think you'd like to hear from next in one of these fireside chats?
Yeah. So like me as a DJ, I think Adamant have recently deployed onto Polygon, right? And yeah, there's some good yields. There's some good yields to be found there. So I think they've recently joined you know, the ecosystem, and I think I think that'd be a cool next episode. Or of course, you know, any new NFT project that's coming, right? NFTs are cool. Let's get them on, right?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you're a self-proclaimed degen.
I don't do it very well, but yes.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah. I think that's the definition of a degen. Is might not do it very well, but at the end of the day, you still do it.
Exactly. Honest work, right? It's honest work.
Yes,
Honest work.
exactly. Not financial advice. No, fantastic. Really enjoyed the conversation. Do you have any kind of parting thoughts or tips for anyone that you would like to share?
I think, yeah, like what I would love is, if people had a look at just had a quick look at Gnosis Safe, the web app, right, on Polygon, and see if it's see if it's something worth thinking about in terms of securing their funds, right? I don't think we're super we're not super shillers or marketers, let's say. Like Gnosis, like we build good products, but we don't shove them in people's faces. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, I'd love to kind of I love to shield the safe right now. Hopefully I've done a good job, but yeah, I love that anybody listening out to try out, just get their hands dirty with the safe, and understand that it's super powerful for avoiding getting rogued, essentially.
Right.
Absolutely. Is there like a certain threshold, or you would say like if you've got more than X dollar amount, you should probably be now considering a safe, or is it just even if you're just starting out?
Like even like with Polygon, I think that threshold amount is actually gone, right?
Yeah.
Like we used to have a threshold, right? Because it wouldn't be economically make sense to be using a safe since we spent so much on to create it, right? Like, but now that it's very, very affordable, right? I don't think that threshold exists anymore.
I love it.
That's great. And don't worry about not shilling Gnosis. We'll shill it for you.
Yeah, we'll make sure we shill.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it, John. If we have any more like community questions, if you have a question, I think maybe we'll take like one or two. If you're cool with that, John.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe Poopster, that's a good one.
Which one?
If you wanted to get more active with the Gnosis Safe community, how would a user go about that last one?
Yeah, I think like so we're very like we're very much, we like to push anybody in the community to get involved in our Discord. Like we've now kind of 3 separate channels on Discord. We've got the developer, so any like very technical specific things on conversations, we go through the developer. We have Safe Apps, which is more of like the community looking to build safe apps, and that's kind of our dedicated channel for that. And then the Safe General, where you just if you want to just get to know the team or ask certain questions, the general channels for us as well. And yeah, I think it's the best place to catch us. And yeah, just kind of discuss how to get to know more about the safe.
Perfect. Second question, also from Poopster.
On Poopster, any chance for Mesa on Polygon stablecoin swaps will be sweet on Polygon? We include my. Yeah, actually, we must ask. So one of the key things for Mesa Mesa is our prediction market platform for Gnosis. I think like the gas costs, we're kind of really deterring, some of the use of Mesa. So I think Mesa on Polygon's a good idea. I can't force us to do that yet. I think we need our other product managers to make that decision. But yeah, I think it makes sense for Polygon to have Mesa, but I don't know if it's on the roadmap as of right now. I'm kind of more on the safe side.
Okay, awesome. There you go, Poopster. Thank you for asking that question. We got one from Rathers. My eyes aren't too good, so maybe Ben, if you want to read it out there.
Yeah, so they're basically speaking about like the safety of Polygon. What made you think that it was safe enough to launch their and there's no need, like not waiting for secure rollups on L2, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we very much trusted the team. That was like ultimately we're just people, right? And we very much trusted the team that we're actually rolling out to Polygon. We had plenty of conversations with them in the run up, and we liked their vision that they shared with us. And I think, you know, as we're waiting for, you know, ZK rollups, for example, and other scaling solutions, we thought it was a good idea to do now. And you know, it's been good adoption, and definitely we'll still be focused in on other scaling solutions, because it's, you know, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's plenty of other you know, aspects that you need to think about going forward for a multi-chain future.
Well, thanks Nakamoto and also Rethers for putting the message that on our Discord.
Yes, and then I think we'll take one last question. It's Poo Blue. What are some plugins we could expect from Gnosis?
Yeah, so we've got a team now working on some safe modules, right? We discussed about the safe modules, so you know, how to bypass access control, bypass the multisig, right, under certain conditions. And we actually have a team building a module manager where, you know, it's a safe app where you see all your modules that you're employing, such as SafeSnap, such as time locking transactions for 24 hours, for example. Where we want this application to be like a kind of plug and play module manager, right? And and we want to influence, you know, the community and the ecosystem to build their own modules as well and get them onto the module manager, right? That's what we have planned, and I think that'll be very good for you know, certain like DAOs and certain teams that kind of need this extra bit of you know, flexibility.
Yeah, that would be so cool. A little bit of drag and drop there. Drag and drop security there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I think modules are super, dare I say, modular. But like, yeah, so we're basically, I'm hoping that, you know, people get plenty of ideas of how, like, what's a cool way to bypass, you know, the policy under a certain condition, right? And and just get them to like create them, and we put them up, right? And we just, you know, continue a better improving the product. Right?
Yeah. Do you have a timeline of when we might see that?
So they're essentially the alpha is complete, right? Like we'll be releasing that in the next couple of weeks. I think we just have to audit it, and the audit is nearing completion. So we'll see that in the next couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Yeah, we can't wait for the SafeSnap, the time lock, that stuff. So looking forward to seeing that coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I think in order for like DeFi to grow to that next level, security and safety is going to be, you know, a huge component. And I love what y'all are doing. Yeah,
and in terms of SafeSnap, like people have already adopted, like projects have already adopted SafeSnap in their own governance. Like if you go onto Snapshot and look at MStable or look at even Shapeshift that recently decentralized completely, they're employing SafeSnap now. You'll see like in Snapshot, they'll see SafeSnap plugin enabled in their governance page. So it's in their votes. So it's slowly but surely we're getting some adoption.
Cool. And is there like a staging or alpha page where we can use the stuff that you're still auditing, or is everything really
we're very much like we're very much the like for stuff that we're going to employ in our own UI, we want them audited fully before we start, you know, releasing them. But it depends on which. Like you can catch me after and whatever you're looking for. Like we can I can help you out. But we tend to audit our stuff first before we in the wild. Yeah,
it's probably a wise decision. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that, right? Like that's it's, in a previous world that was a given, but sometimes not the case, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Fantastic, John. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer some of my questions. Thank you for taking the time to answer some of the community questions. Community, fantastic engagement. Thank you for those. We will chat with you afterwards. Let's see about getting QiDao on there as a default app. And yeah, let's Let's make everyone on Polygon a Gnosis degen.
Yeah. Exactly. And look, here, thanks for having me on. And I appreciate actually like the community's engaged. Like I appreciate all the questions. So yeah, thanks for having me on. Enjoyed it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thanks. Talk soon.
Bye, everyone.